Hello everyone, Semi-Retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. If you're just joining us, stopping on in, say hello in the comments so I can say back to you. We have one already in there, Kismet. Hello to you, Kismet. It is that time, yes indeed. Welcome to everyone. Got a couple of things that I want to talk about today. First thing has absolutely nothing to do with the carnivore diet. I'm angry and I want to express my opinion. As many of you know, I upgraded my router about 45 days ago because I did not have a full gigabit router in the house, and I have full gigabit internet and I wanted the extra speed. So I bought, since I've always been a big believer in this company, I bought a high-end Asus router, ASUS, I believe that's how you say it, Asus. They've always been my go-to for technology. And just 2 days ago, the $150 router that I bought failed. It just kept dropping its signal. I could reset the router and it would hold for 10 to 15 minutes and then it would drop again. So I went on to Amazon and bought myself a new one. I don't even know. This is a TP-Link AC1200. It's just a Japanese knockoff. It's a lot nicer than the Asus. I mean, it came with an app. I can control everything with the app. I can set up extra accounts. I can do all the stuff that you're supposed to be able to do with routers. And it was $32. So we'll see how it holds up. But so far, I've been getting really good speeds out of it. I'm at a little over 900 gigabits per second up and 900 gigabits per second download. And actually, I'm getting 980 gigabits per second upload. I uploaded a video today to YouTube that's due to come out on Monday or Tuesday. It's my interview with Carnivore Lion. And before I could even get the title of the video typed in, it was already uploaded. It took less than 15 seconds to upload that 30-minute video. So far, it's working really well. So that's my rant about Asus routers. I'm not ever probably going to buy another Asus product because it failed so quickly. Okay, let's get back into the comments here because we've got some people that have come in. We've got Danny Banks saying hello from Duluth, Georgia. I'm not actually looking away from you. My camera is here straight in front of me, but I've got a big screen over there so that I can actually read things on that as opposed to the laptop screen, which is right in front of me. Twin Brook Acres is here. Hello to you. I guess the router came in the mail. Yes, it did. And it seems to be working just fine. Thank you, John. John says, hello, Bob. Hope all things are well. Yes, everything is going very well. Today, of course, is Friday. I have already been to the pool. I have already been over to the mailbox. I've done a little more yard work. My hand's a little tired from that. Just because I have a weed killer that I needed to put down, and instead of having a continuous spray nozzle, it's got one of those pump things. So I sat there and had to do the pump all underneath the bushes, all the way around the perimeter of the house, around the perimeter of the fence. I did get it all done, but my hand is a little tired now after all that. But for the most part, yes, everything is well. The new router seems to be kicking along just fine. Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. And hello to you too, Thomas. I'm glad you're here. Just Jason Keto has arrived. Hello, Jason. How are you today? Curves Holiday. Hello from Idaho. Hello, Idaho. I'm not looking at moving to Idaho, but on top of looking in Arizona, I'm actually looking at some land in the Elko area of Nevada, which is just south of Idaho. It's up very close to the border. And so we'll see. I wouldn't mind moving to Idaho if I could find land there for a decent price, but the land in Idaho seems to be quite a bit more expensive than the land in Nevada. Maybe because they have water in Idaho and Nevada doesn't. I don't know, but hello to you too. And people saying hello to each other. Let's see what we got going on here. Hi, Bob and everyone addicted to antlers. Hello to you. I'm glad you're here. Wow, we're up to, does that say 28 already? Wow, we got a lot of people coming in today. That's great. And Sylvie says hello. How are you today, Sylvie? I hope everyone out there is doing well. Isaac says hello. And just Jason, TP Link is decent equipment for the price. Yeah, it seems to be working just fine. And it was certainly a lot easier to set up than the Asus was. Enjoying a nice porterhouse steak while watching. Excellent. That's always a good way to celebrate a live, by eating a steak. Hello, Bert. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Let's see what else we got going on out there. Expensive, but beautiful in Idaho. Yes, indeed. And sound is perfect. Thank you, Sylvie. I appreciate that. A story I've told a couple of times, but it's been several months. So I wanted to go over it again here because I actually had a question on it the other day, asking me why I was called Semi-Retired Bob. It has nothing to do with whether or not I'm still working, because I'm not. I am fully retired. As most of you know, I had heart surgery about 5.5 years ago. Because my sternum deformed, I could not get a DOT card, so I had to get rid of my rig. I can no longer drive trucks for a living. And my clever cousin said to me one time, "Does that mean you are semi-retired?" And it kind of stuck. So there you have it. That's why I'm called Semi-Retired Bob. Oh, and look who has just arrived. We have Craig, who wants to know, is there something fishy about today? Well, let's see what I can see here. I've got a little something saved. I'll be right back, guys. I want to show you something. Okay, Semi-Retired Bob here. I had planned on doing this live and then thought, if this makes me throw up, I don't want to throw up on camera. And that would just ruin the live stream this afternoon. So, Craig sent me some sardines. I actually expected them to be the whole fishies, but they ended up being like, well, kind of pieces. So, not being brave enough to just eat it right out of the can on the first try, I threw the can in a skillet and put a little salt and some Frank's Red Hot sauce on them. So, well, here goes nothing. The worst thing that can happen is I throw up on camera. A little fishy. I don't think I would like them with the skins and bones and everything, but these are actually okay. Okay, Craig, you win this round. I will actually eat all of this. It's not quite noon. I got some ground beef out for my meal today, but one little can of sardines is probably not going to throw off my eating schedule that much. Since I just got back from the swimming pool, walking, I did 30 full minutes, as hard as I could go. And then I did some yard work. So, I've certainly done enough for today. And this is, okay, Craig, you win this one. I don't think I could eat this right out of the can like so many people do, but heat it up in the skillet with some hot sauce and salt. They're acceptable. It's not something I'd go out of my way to eat, but it's not going to kill me either. Okay, back to the live stream. And that's what we had going on today. Now I can take my headphones back off now that I know that's done. But yeah, thanks for sending those, Craig. It was okay. I certainly wouldn't write home about it. I wouldn't rush right out to buy more of them. But they were okay. So we'll see how it goes. I may add some of those into a ground beef meal or something. I will let you know how I end up using all 12 of those cans you sent me. Thank you very much, by the way. All the cool kids hang out at Bob's place on Friday night. I don't know about that, but thank you, twin. Susan Grind. Hi, Bob, from the Benson area of neighborhood of Omaha. Yes, Benson. That's a good. There used to be 20 years ago. There was a place up on the big corner called Triangle Auto Body. Several friends of mine used to go up there for all of their car repairs. I hope things are well up in your neighborhood tonight. It's a little cooler out there today than it was yesterday. It was like 83 when I went out for my walk yesterday. And I've had the windows on the house open. I actually had to close them again because it only got up to about 65 out there. And the air started to feel cold coming in after I aired out the house from opening up a can of sardines. Yeah, I've been very skeptical of sardines, especially because I tried, because Dr. Berry had convinced me that cod liver had almost no flavor to it and was very neutral, and most people that didn't like liver could eat cod liver. I bought some cod livers, and first of all, just opening the can made my house stink for a week, and it was disgusting, absolutely disgusting. I threw the rest of that away. I'm never doing that again. Cod liver was terrible. Don't let anybody tell you that cod liver doesn't taste like liver. It was yucky. It made my house stink for a really long time. And John says, I actually really like sardines. I do eat the skin and bone in ones and enjoy them. Congratulations. I'm glad you like it. I don't know. I haven't tried them that way because the ones I got ended up, I thought they were going to be whole, but they were the pieces. And I can eat them that way. I'm certainly not going to have a can every day. I'm certainly never going to do that. What is it, Dr. Boz that's pushing the sardine diet for 3 days? I don't think I could do that either. But as an occasional, once or twice a week, along with my meal, I can probably do those as long as my Frank's hot sauce holds out. And I have a gallon jug of it, so it should hold out for a while. Things are good in my neighborhood. It was cool. It was a cool night. Had to close most of my windows before going to bed, too. Yeah, it was cool. It's supposed to be cool the next couple of nights, but at least it's supposed to be decent. Great job. You are the man for trying new things. Try them in the air fryer, mix them in with your ground beef or eggs. They're higher in omega-3s than your tuna. Yeah, maybe so, but I like the tuna better. But I'll go out of my way to eat tuna. I'm not going to go out of my way to eat sardines. They aren't going to kill me. I won't say I disliked them or liked them. They're very neutral. If I never eat another can of sardines, it wouldn't hurt my feelings, but it's not going to kill me to eat more of them. So that's probably where I'm going to go with that. Let's see here. I've tried lemon-flavored cod liver oil. It was okay. I like sardines, not my favorite, but I eat them once or twice a week. They're a good carnivore snack. See, I don't need a good carnivore snack because I don't snack. I just don't. Every once in a great while, I'll get the urge to eat a little something. If I ended up eating early, then about 9 or 10 o'clock, I might get, I'll try using salt, of course, because salt's the first line of defense against a craving or the urge to eat. But if after 20 minutes a pinch of salt hasn't crushed it, I do keep pre-boiled and pre-peeled eggs in the fridge. So all I have to do is pull 2 or 3 of them out, dump some Redmond's real salt on them, and eat them up. So those were, that's if I do need a snack, that's what I'm going to have. Because of the way I ate those, I'm not going to go to the trouble of opening up a can of sardines and putting them in the skillet and doing all that. But yeah, if you like them as a snack, then that's fantastic. Let's see here. And do you think the Swirl products add benefits to your carnivore lifestyle? I cannot make any claims, good, bad, or otherwise. I have not been on them long enough to tell you for sure. I can tell you that prior to starting the Swirl products, this is not a cause and effect claim because the FDA will not allow me to make those claims, and Swirl products are not designed to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases. That being said, I fell back in January. Those of you that have been watching my channel for a while saw me fall on the trail. It's in the January 4th video. But up until just a few weeks ago, my shoulder still hurt. And I've been taking the Stem Enhance I'm on my 3rd bottle of that, and I'm on my 2nd bottle of the Sciactive Joint, and the Plasma Flow. And I'm about halfway through my 2nd bottle of those, and I can tell you that my shoulders no longer hurt. This is not a cause and effect statement. I'm not going to say that the Swirl products have definitely done anything for me, because I can't make that claim. But, you'll just have to investigate it for yourself and see what you think. If you were to, let's see here. If you were to go to that link that is scrolling across the bottom of the screen because you wanted to know more, you will find links to all of the research on Swirl. It has been tested by independent laboratories, and it has been found to do exactly what it claims to do, which is to enhance the release of adult stem cells. Okay, let's get back to the comments here. Gee, Bob, you sound kind of like, I don't know, maybe someone whose eating habits have been affected by the Army. It's possible. It's very possible. But the food in the Army was very good. When I was at Fort Jackson, we had pork. Now, of course, we had a whole bunch of other crap with it, but we had pork chops every day for lunch, and we had steaks every day for dinner. That's just what they fed us at Fort Jackson. I don't remember what the donuts were, or not what the breakfast was. I know they always had donuts and pastries and things like that, but I'm sure they had eggs and bacon and sausage and all that stuff too. That's 42 years ago. I just don't remember that well. Maybe even longer than that. Yeah, it's been a while. Good hint about the salt and hard-boiled eggs. Yes, salt does wonders. If you're having a craving, I always say, if it's a really strong craving, put a pinch of salt underneath your tongue or on your tongue, wash it down with a couple big swigs of water, and then go take a 10-minute walk. And that will usually knock out a craving. But if it's still going on, and if the craving goes on long enough that you feel like you really do need to eat something, then you're hungry. Don't just snack. Go ahead and have a meal. Cook yourself up a steak, or have, 5 or 6 fried or scrambled eggs. Break out the meat cookies or the eggs that you have stored in the fridge. Heat those up and go to town, which is why I don't snack. If I feel like if I get to the point where, okay, I need to eat something, I generally have more than 3 eggs. I'll usually have 6 or 7 eggs and call it a second meal. But that's just the way I do it. You don't need to take anything I say as doctrine because there is no one correct way to do this. You have to discover what works for you and do that. When you've eaten Dutch herring and know how they are cured and liked it, then you won't be anxious about eating sardines right out of the can. Yeah, okay. Probably not going to happen. But we'll see. Connie, if the food world consisted of sardines and liver, then I would be a mere shadow of myself. I am 100% with you on that one, Connie. Absolutely right. I could probably choke down enough sardines to survive nutritionally wise, but I would never be able to eat enough liver because I couldn't keep it down. Liver's gross. I don't know whoever. I want to know, way back in the day, no matter how many thousands of years it goes, when a guy with a spear took down a great big animal, and there's all this delicious muscle meat and the associated fat. I want to know who the first one was that instead of taking all the slimy stuff out of the middle of the animal and throwing it to the dogs like most tribes back then did. I want to know what was going on in that guy's head when I went, look at that great big slimy piece of gook right in the middle. I wonder how that tastes. Yuck. Alan's Awesome Keto World is in the house. Hello, Alan. How are you doing today? Yes, happy Friday to you too. And Sandra is here from Michigan. That's another, as much as I don't like Michigan because, well, it's that team up north. If I could find a chunk of land, even though it would be really cold there a good chunk of the year, if I could find a reasonably priced chunk of land up in the Upper Peninsula, out in the middle of nowhere, away from everybody, I think that would be an excellent place to raise some sheep and some chickens. And that's really what I want to do. I want a chunk of land out in the middle of nowhere that I can raise some sheep. I can have a few chickens. Now, let me clarify on chickens. Egg-laying chickens would be okay, but the problem with getting egg-laying chickens is that you basically are now tied to that land forever because you got to take care of the chickens. When I say I want chickens, I want to buy baby chicks, meat chicks, spend 3 to 4 months raising them up to full size, and then take them out of the butcher and fill up my freezer with chicken meat, enough to last me a couple of years, or enough chicken to last me a year and take the other half of it and trade it with somebody who's raising pigs or cows to get myself some beef or some pork. That would be ideal. But with enough added butter, you could live off of chicken as well, but that's not ideal. I'd much rather have red meat. I'd rather have beef, but I don't think I'm quite capable. Certainly not going to start off by buying a cow to try and raise a cow, because that seems like a lot more work than chickens. Jeannie's here. Hello, Jeannie. How are you today? I had sardines for breakfast with a tablespoon of cold butter afterwards. I used a teaspoon of vinegar with the sardines. And that's probably very similar to the hot sauce without the spice to it. I don't really use vinegar on anything. In fact, the only thing that even resembles a condiment in my fridge is it's not a whole gallon jug. It's like a half-gallon jug of Frank's Red Hot sauce. And that's what I really like. But that's really all Frank's Red Hot sauce is vinegar plus spice. And I've never had any reaction to it, so I'm confident in continuing to use that. I don't think you probably want to know how Dutch herring are cured. Knowing him and the way he said that, that's probably not something you want to ask. Love sardines with vinegar. Tomorrow I think I'll have some beef liver with a side of sardines. Good for you, John. I'm glad you like that stuff. Just remember not to eat too much liver, because as Professor K explained to us, while he doesn't think vitamin A toxicity is a thing, just like Dr. Berry doesn't, copper toxicity is a thing. And that's probably what was going on with a very well-known YouTuber that shall not be named Fruit and Honey Boy. And all of his problems, if you look at the symptoms of copper toxicity and all of the symptoms he was having from eating, liver a couple, 3 times a day, plus dumping those liver capsules in on top of that, it's very likely that he had copper toxicity going on, because all of the symptoms that he describes in his videos when he made that switch back to eating fruit and honey directly align with copper toxicity. So take that for what it's worth. If you have not watched the Professor K interview yet, you might want to go do that after you finish watching this live stream, of course. I thought it was very interesting. Wow, we're over 40. Hello, everyone. I'm glad you're here. Let's see here. Uper is a beautiful place. I don't know what that is, but meat chickens take about 8 weeks start to finish. Yeah, I was just generalizing off the top of my head. Some of them, I've read on some of them, I'm watching them take, about 8 weeks, and some of them can take a little longer depending on the breed. And where you live depends on what breed you can get to survive best. But that's what I want to do. I want to do meat chickens and maybe 2 or 3 sheep or goats for meat as well, because I don't want to be stuck there taking care of animals all day, every day for the entire year. If the winter gets really bad, I want to be able to hook up the trailer and go south for a couple, 3 months if I have to. Or if I'm down in Arizona, if it gets to be the middle of summer and it ends up being 125 degrees, I want to be able to hook up the trailer and go north for a little bit. So that's why I'm not looking at doing a permanent homestead farm kind of a thing. I'm looking more for things that I can buy, raise for 8 weeks to 3 months, maybe 4 months at the most, get them butchered, fill my freezer up, and go on with life. That's my general outline of a plan. You could put mustard on my sardines. I could, but I don't have any mustard. And I can't think of anything that I would use mustard on. Other than that, and I'm not going to buy even $1 jar of cheap mustard for just sardines. Frank's hot sauce worked really well. Let's see what else we got going on here. I only eat liver a couple times a month. Excellent. He was also eating kidney. Yes, he was eating a lot of organs. How are you today, Robert? I'm glad to see you in the chat. And sorry, watching and working. I understand many of you still have to work for a living, and those of you that take time out to be here for a little bit makes me very, very happy. Pre-carnivore, I was really into chicken tenders and popcorn chicken. Now my taste for chicken has subsided in favor of beef and pork. Anyone else? Yeah, I don't really care that much for chicken. I was never really big on chicken to begin with, but I did, chicken nuggets. I kept a big bag of them in the, back before I started this diet. I kept a big bag of chicken nuggets and a big bag of pre-cut French fries in the freezer so that I could take a handful of chicken nuggets and a handful of French fries, throw them in the air fryer, push the button, come back in 10 minutes, and have a deliciously wonderful hot meal. Now I know that wasn't such a grand idea, but, it's chicken and potato, and it's made in the air fryer, so I'm not frying any of it in grease. This is obviously healthy, right? Of course it is. Uper is Upper Peninsula, Virginia. Okay. Thanks. Let's see here. My dogs love sardines. Excellent. You are home and have a full kitchen. Give us an idea of what you have for most of your meals. Most of the time, it's all about the same stuff. I have ground beef or hamburgers. I have a lot of pot roast. I do them basically the same way I did down in North Carolina. I wrap them up in aluminum foil and bake them for a couple of hours. But instead of opening the aluminum foil up and doing them under the broiler, when they're mostly done, I pull them out of the oven, fire up the cast iron skillet, get it nice and hot, put some lard or butter in it, and I sear the sides of the roast in the cast iron. Now I know Cassie from Carnivore Quest does it the other way around, but I like putting the sear on them last. I got a couple of bread pans that arrived today. My food processor is arriving on Saturday. So I am going to try my hand at making things like carnivore bread and, not actual chaffles, but I got to looking at it, and instead of the chaffle recipe of cheese and egg together, it looks to me like if you can bake bread just by literally mixing ground beef and eggs together in a blender until it's a puree kind of a dough looking like stuff, and put it in a bread pan, it'll bake up. I don't see any reason why I can't use that as batter for the chaffle maker that I have, and I'll see how that comes out. I'm going to be experimenting a lot in the kitchen over the next couple of months because I still need to make. I need to start my pemmican experiments, and I'm going to be doing a lot of that this summer as we move forward. We'll just have to see where it goes. I'm not really set up to film in the kitchen very well, but I'm working on that as well. So we'll just have to wait and see what it goes. But most of my meals are still just like they have been. I have ground beef. I have roast. Today I had 4 miniature steaks. They were all, they weren't very big. Each package of 2 was less than a pound each. So I had about 1.5 pounds to 1.75 pounds. I didn't actually add it up. It was enough. I don't even know what kind of steaks they were. I had a really good score at the grocery store yesterday. I got over there early on Thursday, and Thursday morning is when the manager's special bin gets filled up with stuff that is about to expire. And I got myself about 16 pounds of meat for, what was it, $57 and some change. I got 16 pounds of beef. And it was all good beef. There was no hamburger in there. It was all steaks and roasts and things like that. I got a lot of stew meat. Many of the stew meat packages were smaller, and I noticed some of them said lean on them, so I'm going to have to cook them in lard and then dump butter over the top of them. But I should get 6 or 7 meals out of that money that I spent. Maybe even 8. I'll just have to see how it goes. There was, I didn't even really pay that much attention. The only thing I passed over was he had some cube steaks in there, which to me just are like glorified hamburgers. And if I want to buy hamburgers, I'll buy hamburgers. But I literally went through the manager's special bin and bought everything that was in there except for the cube steaks. So I didn't pay that much attention to what I was getting. Oh, it's a solid looking chunk of beef. It's on sale. Take it all out of here. And I did. Julie, thanks for sharing your journey. We need more people like you. Well, thank you, Julie. I'm glad you're here. Connie, here's a sincere salute to all the sardine and liver fans. I am a wimp. Absolutely. Those of you that can eat sardines and liver, more power to you. Like I said, I'm going to be able to eat these sardines. I don't know that I'm going to buy more when these are gone. I probably will because they are fairly cheap. You get the brand that I had, and it's still on my wish list if you guys want to go check it out. You get 12 cans for like $14 and some change, so it's just a little over $1 a can, which is not that much more expensive than buying an 89-cent can of tuna. So, take that for what you will. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't bad. I wouldn't rush right out. I'm not going to rush right out and buy 30 cases of sardines because I liked them that well. But I will probably get more when these run out. Hey, Rick, how's it going today? The best thing about this diet, I also have a lot of ground beef and steaks cooked in the pot. Yeah. It's really easy to cook. If you want to spend a little extra time doing something fancy with your meat, you can, but you really don't have to. You really can just toss in a pot, throw a little drop or two of water in it so it doesn't stick, and walk away from it for a couple, 3 hours, and it's done. And it's almost as good. It's better if you fire up the cast iron and sear it, or do any of the other number of things to them that you can, or throw them on the grill or smoker, any of that stuff. But all that stuff takes time. If you're busy and doing other stuff, you just throw a big chunk of meat in the crock pot, toss just a little bit of water in it so it doesn't stick, turn it on, walk away for 3 hours. You've got your meal ready to go. Very easy. I hope you're doing good today, Rick. Couldn't raise chickens for the meat. I'd get to know them and give them names and wouldn't be able to kill them and end up feeding them for life. That is a concern, Thomas. That is a concern. But as nice as I seem on YouTube, I'm basically heartless. I like fuzzy little animals, but I like meat on my plate even more than fuzzy little animals. So that's where I'm coming from, but I understand that sentiment very much so. Terry, hello, Terry. We used to like chicken, but after 3.5 months on carnivore, we don't like it. We eat beef, butter, bacon, and eggs with occasional seafood, salmon, halibut, tuna fillets, and red shrimp. Yeah. Oh, and I want to say, I mentioned tilapia in the video the other day and got a couple of emails talking about how bad that was. Guys, that's just a name of a fish that I could remember off the top of my head. I have no illusions about knowing anything about fish. I live in Nebraska. If you get out a globe and look at it, there are very few places in this world other than maybe Tibet that you can get farther from deep water than living in Nebraska. I don't know anything about fish. That's just one of the names of a fish that I could remember. So, you don't need to convince me how horrible tilapia is for you. I don't eat that much fish. If I get fish, they have some frozen cod fillets that I get occasionally from Walmart, and they have some frozen salmon fillets that I occasionally get from Walmart. But seafood here in Nebraska, the other gal from the other side of Nebraska can confirm this for you if you don't believe me. Seafood in Nebraska is expensive. Even the cheap frozen stuff is really expensive here because we're so far from deep water. But on the flip side of that, we are the feedlot capital of the world, so I get beef much cheaper than you do. So there. Yeah. Carnivore pizza is a good thing to try as well. Yes, indeed. I hardly go to the store. I have so much meat in the freezer. I wish I could say that, but I haven't found any really good deals on quarters or halves of beef yet since I've been home. I will probably find one eventually, but for right now, I don't. I look forward to hearing about the results of your kitchen experiments. Does your oven have probe feature? No. This house was built in the 60s, and I think the oven is the original. The refrigerator's been replaced, but I think the oven is the original from the 60s. Doesn't have any of that kind of stuff. My new oven, I can hook a probe up to it, but I don't. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. It's supposed to keep the temperature internally, and I don't know. I'll have to look into all that stuff as I go. But when I do stuff, the things I'm planning to do in my air fryer / dehydrator is I'm planning on just putting thinly sliced meat in it and dehydrating it all the way down to to crunchy so I can break it up into a powder and then mix it up with fat and make pemmican out of it. But we'll see how it goes. I've got a lot of experiments to try, and I will take you guys along for the journey. Absolutely. Hey, Bob, just noticed more than 5K in subs. High five and a fist bump. Yes, indeed. I broke the 5K mark a couple of days ago. It's been a lot of fun. I didn't quite make it by my 60th birthday, but it happened on Wednesday the week after, so I made it within a week of my 60th birthday, which makes me very happy. I'm still very shocked that there are 5,000 people that want to hear what I have to say, just like there's 46 of you here in the chat right now. I mean, really? But thanks. I'm glad you're hanging out with me. This is great. Thursdays at Family Fair. Yes, indeed, Angie. Thursdays at Family Fair. And I go to the one right down there on 144th, just north of Center. That's about 5 blocks from the house. It's just a little bit too far to walk. I walked over to Stoysich in that video just a couple of days ago, so I can walk down to Stoysich, but I'm not going to be going there anymore because they don't have anything there for us. I am going to try and walk down to Aldi's sometime and check out the sales at Aldi's. My mailbox is just on the back side of Aldi's, but like today when I picked up the box that Craig sent me, that would have been a real challenge to walk all the way home with that box. And Family Fair is a lot further away than I would want to carry groceries, especially like, yesterday when I got about 16 pounds of meat. That would have been way too much to carry all the way home. I watched Laura Spath shop at Sam's Club today. She bought thin sliced ribeyes to dehydrate for jerky. We often forget how handy a dehydrator can be. Yes, indeed. And one of these days I'm going to make a Costco trip because there's a Costco fairly close to me. I just go out to the main road and then about 2.5, 3 miles up the road is Costco. It's very close. Sam's about 2.5, 3 miles the other direction. When I have a membership, I get Costco because that gives me both, because Dave, the owner at the miniature golf course, uses Sam's for a lot of his stuff. So if there's something at Sam's that I want that they don't have at Costco, I just ask him next time he's going to Costco to pick me up some, or I go with him. Or next time he's going to Sam's to pick it up for me, or I go with him, and vice versa. If there's something at Costco that he needs, we just go over there together and we use my card. There's no reason for us both to be paying at Sam's or both of us to be paying at Costco. And speaking of that, July the 27th, 2 p.m. at the miniature golf course. If you need more information, here, let me switch that banner. Send me an email at SemiRetiredBob@yahoo.com. I'm going to have a get-together. That's the day before Hard to Kill Omaha Summit, which runs the 28th and 29th of July here in Omaha. So if you're coming into Omaha for that anyway, you may as well come on over to Putting Plus at 92nd and Maple Street. I'll send you all the information. It's going to be $7 or $8, and that you'll pay that straight to Dave to pay for 2 rounds of miniature golf. I'm going to have a big grill out there, and I'm going to be grilling up hamburgers for anybody that wants to show up. If you want buns, I'm a carnivore. If you want bread or something to put your hamburger on, you have to bring that yourself, because I'm not providing buns and I'm not providing ketchup. I am providing hamburgers. Anything you want to put on that hamburger, you'll have to bring for yourself or talk amongst yourself. I do have some people signing up for it already. There is, of course, no limit. Well, if more than 500 people want to come, we might have to put a tent up in the parking lot. But other than that, there's plenty of space at the miniature golf course. Parking might be a problem if everybody comes in separate cars, but we'll work that out. So if you'd like to come to the Omaha gathering that I'm hosting, be sure and let me know so I can get you on the list. That is on July the 27th. We're going to start at 2, and it'll go for 3 or 4 or 5 hours, basically depending on how long people stay. There's no really set limit on it. I know the festivities will start Friday. I'm not sure when they start on Friday at the Hard to Kill Summit, but we'll definitely want to be able to get up there for that. So we want to make sure that everybody can get back to the hotel and get plenty of sleep for that. Also, coming up on Thursday, May the 25th at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, Zoom call for all of my channel members. So regardless of what level of channel membership you're at, I will have a Zoom call. You're all welcome to attend. If you're not a channel member, consider dropping down below the video. There's a link in the description, a link just underneath the video. I forget exactly what it is for the ground beef membership. I think it's $2.99 or $3.99. It's not very much, but it's a little donation that helps the channel out. And the channel being me, because I do everything. I do the filming and the editing and all of the planning and all of the uploading. I do everything. And unless you've done a YouTube channel for yourself, you have no idea how much work it is. But that's neither here nor there. Thursday, May the 25th, 6:30 p.m., Zoom call for all channel members. So feel free to jump in on that as well. And now let's get back to some comments here. Where did I leave off? There's where I stopped. Bayleaf, hello, BD. I gotta look at the bigger screen. BDB75, how are you today? Carnivore Mike on YouTube has good recipe for sardine cakes. It's clean and good. For my husband, I made a pizza bowl, cooked ground beef, added pepperoni slices, herbs like a tomato sauce for him, put mozzarella on top, cover for a few minutes, let the mozzarella melt. Very good. Thanks, Bob. It was a good day so far. Angie's laughing at something, but it's been long enough now that I don't remember what you're laughing at. I'm sorry, but thank you for laughing. Go to Shucks for seafood. Expensive, yes. I don't know where Shucks is. Never heard of it. I'll have to look it up. Got to go take a walk with hubby. I'll catch the rest of this on YouTube, I guess. Thanks, Bob. Have a good day, Susan. I'm glad you stopped by. Crafty and Carnivore shows up for the last 5-10 minutes, but she is here. Thank you very much for showing up. Hyla, how are you today? I certainly hope you're having a great day as well. And, of course, now the next 500 comments will be everybody saying hello to Crafty because she's much more popular and way better looking than I am. Well, I love fuzzy animals too, Bob, especially with salt and sometimes pepper. I'm with you on that, Kismet. And that's probably what they were laughing at in the earlier comment as well. Fuzzy or feathered or with scales. That's right. For those of you that have never watched Rick, their Charger Mopar, he lives down in Florida, and there's an iguana problem in his neighborhood that he does not see as a problem because I believe, is it iguanas that you're eating, Rick? I know you catch and cook up an iguana from time to time because they're free-range iguanas in his neighborhood in Florida. Bob, that biscuit and gravy was really good from Ketogenic Woman. I'm glad you liked it. That's one of the things I'm looking at making because y'all know I'm from Southern Ohio. I'm from Appalachia. And biscuits and gravy is one of the 5 food groups if you're from Appalachia. If I didn't live at the end of the world, I would be able to attend a carnivore meetup. I understand that, Rick. Phone's about to die. Take care all. Have a great day. My willingness to eat snake, alligator, and shark kinds tips the freak out meter for many. They see a grandma, they expect tea and cookies. Yes, indeed. And I would probably eat snake and alligator. I have no idea if I would like shark or not. I don't live close enough. If I ever find a shark swimming down Dodge Street, I will kill it and eat it and let you know. But the odds of me finding a shark swimming loose somewhere in Nebraska is not very good. Oh, it looks like I'm getting caught up here. Pretty good. Been a busy day. Last day of school took two 50-pound dogs to the groomers. Okay, so you've been kind of busy. Yes, it's iguanas, but they are no longer a problem. Been a while since I have seen any. Well, that's too bad, because free food is always a good thing. But yes, indeed. There is one more, since we're out of comments for the moment. There is one more quick thing I wanted to cover while we've got a few minutes left here. I noticed somebody commenting on one of the videos, and I don't even remember if it was on one of mine or somebody else's, but they were talking about how everybody seems to be down on people using scales. And yes, I'm doing a no scale May here as well. It's not because I think scale is an unhealthy crutch. It can be for some. And I'm not getting all over you. If you need the scale to keep you on track, then by all means, jump on the scale every day if that's one of the tools you use to help you out. But the reason I'm doing a no scale May is that people tend to only judge their successes by what it says on the scale. And if you go for weeks and sometimes even months without the scale moving, you can get discouraged. Even if, like, as I found, I put that shirt on for my birthday thumbnail. I didn't like it because it was too tight when I first bought them, and the scale hadn't really moved that much, but I found that the shirt was loose. So there are many other things we can do to judge our progress. And that's more what my version of the no scale May is all about, is to show you that the scale is not the only thing that you can judge your success by. Again, that's just like, with everything else I say, the one person that I have that at one time liked to have a little piece of chocolate at the end of their dinner because they needed that something sweet tasting. I've always said if that one little piece of chocolate keeps her on track for the rest of the day, and that's the only thing bad she's doing, I have no problem with that. I say go right ahead. If that cup of coffee, speaking of cup of coffee, my throat was getting a little dry there. If having that cup of coffee, even though coffee is not carnivore, if having that cup of coffee keeps you on track for the rest of the day, then I say go ahead and have that cup of coffee. There's no reason not to. And the same thing with the scale. If jumping on the scale every day helps keep you on track, then by all means, go ahead and jump on the scale every day. But realize that there are many other ways to judge your progress and your successes. And just like anything else, that piece of chocolate or the coffee or the scale, some people can become addicted to those things. And then you need something like a no scale May to let you first realize that it is an addiction, and it is possible to break that addiction if you work at it hard enough. And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm not saying that the scale is a bad thing. I'm not getting down on people that want to scale every day. But those are my reasons for having no scale May. It's purely because you need to know that you can get by without jumping on the scale. And that's what I needed to say about that. Neil come from my car. Who are we talking about here, guys? That 9-pound chihuahua. That on Mondays. I can't find who you guys are talking about, but that's okay. Craig is combining two of my favorites tonight, a ribeye with a coffee rub. Yeah, and I saw some people putting, what was it? I was watching a Keto Simple No, it wasn't Keto Simple. But anyway, somebody that I was watching was making keto brownies. It was just keto chocolate chips and eggs, basically. They said sometimes some people will even put just a little bit of coffee in this to bring out the chocolate flavor even more. Coffee is a very good flavor enhancer. Must have my 2 cups of black coffee a day. Yeah, see, I totally get it, Thomas. And if those 2 cups of black coffee keep you on plan for the rest of the time, then I say don't listen to what anybody says about coffee, because for every study somebody trots out that says this is bad for you, I can find a study that says it's good for you, and none of those studies are worth the paper they're written on. Yes, it's a plant. Yes, there's some bad things in coffee. And if you have reaction to them, you may consider cutting it out. But there is no real science out there one way or the other that coffee is either good or bad for you. So this is one of those cases where you have to do your own N=1 experiment. And if it works for you, that's great. If you stall and it's not working for you, then that may be one of the things that you try to cut out. Yes, Crafty, I got to 5K subs. That was back on Wednesday. Where have you been for 2 days? Oh, that's right. You actually have a life where you have to take care of dogs and children and husbands and things. Book tip, especially when you have kids. The Dental Diet by Stephen Lynn DDS. Okay. For those of you that have not read that book, which I have not, you may want to jot that down or come back and watch the replay of this so you can get that. Because I found everything Bert says to be fairly good. Check that out, Bert. Yep. Yes, indeed. Hello, Sophie. I'm glad you're here. Made it, Sophia. I am glad you're here. Grateful Keel. Still glad I don't drink coffee. It's one addiction I don't have to worry about. Yep. And I am not actually addicted to coffee anymore because I did last October with no coffee at all. I didn't have any side effects. But I also did not notice a difference. I'm going to try it again sometime, maybe June, maybe July. We'll see how it goes, where I'm at, what else I'm doing. I'm going to do another month to see if I can find a difference or feel a difference. But the one thing I did notice after doing the October no coffee is that I didn't have to have coffee every morning, but I like coffee, so I continue to have it most mornings. Cook gently covered, eat with salt. Cumin, for those who support it, it changes a little. I don't know what we're talking about there, but that's still okay. Sorry I had to go refuel the body. I understand. People saying hello to Jason. Don't stop enjoying life, whether it be coffee or even sardines with mustard. You had to add that on there, didn't you? Sardines. How can anybody be enjoying life while eating sardines with mustard? I'm sorry, that just seems wrong to me. And Intentional Carnivore got here just as I'm getting ready to sign off, but I'm glad you're here, Sean. Thanks for stopping by. And let's see here. Went to the doctor, they weighed me and didn't moan about my weight. More than happy with it the first time in many years. Excellent, excellent, Sophia. That's well deserving a high five and a fist bump. Good job. Got about a minute left, so let's do a rapid fire. If you've got a question, get it in now because we're almost down the end of it here. People saying congratulations hello to Intentional Carnivore. Hello, Rose. Yes, thanks for that. Sardines and raw liver. Yeah, I don't even like cooked liver. You're just gross, Rick. We just can't be friends anymore. I'm kidding, of course. You do you, and I'll do me, and we'll be happy with that. Kirsten Kippers beat sardines hand down. Everybody's saying hello to everyone. But I think it was a fairly good stream today. I don't see any last minute questions coming in. So I will take this opportunity to say thank you very much for being here today. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.